Live-action adaptations and stories based on fandoms and things people are passionate about isn't really new. They've been around since the dawn of the internet, and seldomly even before then. That being said, there's one fandom in particular that I perpetually find myself looking at even years later: the live-action Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. There are a lot of popular series in this genre, such as Yu-Gi-Oh! Real Life by Little Demon Films, or... okay, this one's gonna be a mouthful. The Revelations of the Seal of Orichalcos. I'm sorry. While these series are outstanding in their own merit, there are a collective of series that I consider my favorite, and the collective that makes up all of these series is often referred to as the Excalibur dimension. Before I go over the Excalibur dimension, I need to go into the channels and series that initially made it up. And I'll begin with the flagship series, Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur, made by Prez Komori. Excalibur was the first series of what would eventually become the Excalibur dimension, and vastly predated the group itself. This was the series where the seeds were kind of sown for the foundation of the rest of the series. Excalibur detailed the adventures of Prez Komori, a dark and brooding duelist who duels his best friend, and eventually an enigmatic organization called the Phantoms while searching for something called Excalibur. What exactly Excalibur is, however, is currently unknown, but a fragment of it serves as the main goal for all the characters in the story. The story begins with Prez dueling his best friend Paxton, but the true story opens up in the following episodes. Prez's purpose for finding it is to return his family to normal because his parents and brother have been gone for over a year by the time the story begins. Eventually, more and more characters join the series, such as Ice Cold Pedro, a former champion stripped of his title by Prez who seeks vengeance. Zack Pies, a rookie and energetic duelist who kind of sucks at playing the game. Maverick Illblood, the series' main villain and who's implied to be behind the disappearance of Prez's family in the first place, and the fan-favorite half-brother of Jaden from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, Sean Yuki.
Are you ready for it? I like just decisive armor.
Keep the name of Sean in mind, he'll be coming up later. Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur first premiered on YouTube as a sequel to, I'm sorry, I don't think I want to say that on this channel, thank you. Anyways, Excalibur's first episode premiered on February 18th, 2013. The show currently sits at almost 2 seasons, with the first season lasting for 20 episodes, which ended on October 13th, 2013. That's 20 episodes released in under a year. That's pretty admirable if you ask me, to see someone so passionate about a project like this to shoot and edit 20 episodes of it in just shy of 9 months. Unlike its contemporaries, Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur didn't employ a large amount of visual editing, where shows like Revelations of the Seal of Orichalcos use CG or card images in order to bring the monsters to life. All Excalibur needed to do was display the cards and their stats, as well as the participating duelist's life point counts. The minimal amount of editing didn't, in my eyes, come out of a place of laziness. The swift editing and planning and recording of every video seems to be why the first season had such a swift release schedule. Another notable aspect of, compared to other live-action series, was multiple characters were played by the same actor. This is a staple of live-action Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling, and it's not really anything new. I mean, Revelations of the Seal of Orichalcos literally has it as a main plot point. But almost every other character that isn't Prez, Paxton, or Sean is usually played by Prez himself. This resulted in characters that admittedly looked a lot. I mean, it kind of begins to blur the lines a bit when you see duels between Prez with sunglasses, Prez with an Iron Man mask, Prez with a hood, Prez with a skull mask, Prez with a gas mask. I could go on. I don't think that's anything necessarily bad. It's out of necessity, after all. It's so a way to give the illusion and the impression of different characters. And that's not anything I knock the series for. I actually like that, personally. Anyways, we'll come back to Excalibur in a little bit, but for now we're going to shift gears to another grassroots series for the Excalibur Dimension Collective. Shortly before the first season of Excalibur wrapped up, another live-action Yu-Gi-Oh! Series was getting off the ground around the time. That would be Mr. Awesome's Yu-Gi-Oh! Project Game series. Project Games' first season premiered on September 24th, 2013, almost 3 weeks before the conclusion of Excalibur's first season. This series focused on Tom Elkman, a duelist who gets involved with a group called the Card Hunters after one of them attempts to make off with his brother's deck. The series came out around the height of Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur's popularity, and admittedly it does have a few plot beats that are similar, such as a brother being in danger, and an evil organization assumed to be at play, but in my opinion, Project Games has enough different in order for it to have its own identity. Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur only used cards going up to the late Synchro era, so there weren't really any Xyz, Pendulum, or Link monsters involved. Project Games ups that ante by introducing Xyz monsters into the mix, and using a lot of cards from that era. Not only that, but as I mentioned earlier, while Excalibur had really sparse and minimalist editing, usually just reserved for monsters, stats, and life points, Project Games once again ups the ante by employing the use of animations and drawings for summoning monsters, and even sometimes the cards themselves, like Pot of Greed. In my eyes, the use of animation and Xyz monsters was enough to make the series more unique, as well as having a generally different plot outside of the previously mentioned similar story beats. It wasn't long until this series, and the series that apparently inspired it, eventually came full circle.
Ooh, here's where things get interesting.
On November 10th, 2013, episode 21 of Excalibur was released, beginning the second season of the series. This new era was very different from the first season, with new intros and outros, but more notably, the series kind of started winding down to a finality. Characters who had been in the entire series started getting killed off or even written out of the story. Even Paxton, someone who's in the very first episode of the series, only got a single on-screen duel in Season 2. I would go into how the season ends, but that's gonna be a topic for later. Project Games did have one of the most groundbreaking and fundamental episodes to the topic of the Excalibur dimension, and what eventually became that, on July 11th, 2014. This was release of the most iconic, and in my opinion, the best episode of Project Games, Return of a Legend. This episode solely solidified the fact that both Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur and Yu-Gi-Oh! Project Games canonically took place in the same universe. Following this episode, Prez and eventually even Sean from the Excalibur series would make appearances throughout the remainder of the season of Project Games. This is where the framework of the Excalibur dimension really began to get its roots, but in order for it to spring to life, it needed one last push. The third series that entered the mix was Yu-Gi-Oh! The Mask by App Art Girl Brock. I am very, very sorry if I butchered your name right there. But this was back when they went under the username of Cinematic Controller. The Mask premiered on July 26, 2014, 2 weeks after Project Games' Return of a Legend episode debuted. This series had a bit more unique of a story, involving 5 dual bots going rogue and wreaking havoc, while a character named Dallas, who's the series' protagonist, is attempting to shut them down. Much like Yu-Gi-Oh! Project Games before it, the series also introduced a new summoning method into one of the series that became part of the Excalibur dimension, that being Pendulum summoning this time. There's not really much more I could say about The Mask, considering the series ended on July 1st, 2015, just shy of a year of its debut. It's one of the shortest lived series, but believe it or not, that is not the shortest lived series of what the Excalibur dimension had to offer. It only got 5 episodes before its eventual cancellation, and seeing as it's been half a decade since the series ended abruptly, and the series creator has made massive disclaimers in the descriptions of every episode, and as well as not even going by their dead name anymore, I personally find the chances of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Mask getting a continuation to be rather slim. Before the series' public cancellation, and only a week after what would be the final episode of The Mask, the official Excalibur Dimension YouTube channel was created on July 9th, 2015. The collective had officially been formed. According to the channel intro, the original intention of this channel was to be a centralized hub for the series creators to pool their videos together and upload episodes of their series, as well as to their own channels.
First and foremost, this channel is going to contain a collection of all the episodes of
Excalibur,
Project Games,
The Mask.
and L.
along with upcoming series
Bug Warriors,
Dare and Armageddon. However, these episodes will be still uploaded to the regular channels. This channel will just make it easier to find the respective episodes.
This video in the channel's description also revealed to me a rabbit hole of series that never quite got off the ground. These included Yu-Gi-Oh! L by one Logan Esper. I'm gonna be real with you guys, I kinda drew a blank on this one. I couldn't find any information regarding the series other than it appears to have existed between 2015 and 2016, as that's when these comments by a channel associated with Excalibur Dimension implies. But all of the episodes that did exist at any point are either lost or unavailable to the public. The only channel I could find associated with them has been scrubbed of uploads completely, with, again, only a few comments mentioning the series. That leads me to believe that Yu-Gi-Oh! L is unfortunately lost. Unlike the other 3 series, I never watched it, so I couldn't recall to you what happened. Similarly, around this time was the premiere of yet another ill-fated series, Tuffy Tech's Yu-Gi-Oh! Bug Warriors series. I'm gonna keep this part brief, because while it only lasted a single episode, which is now gone, the series creator has expressed in recent uploads that he doesn't exactly like it anymore. He's only ever mentioned it in an April Fool's Day joke for a supposed second episode of the series, but also a channel update where he outright said he did not enjoy making it.
But there is one thing that I've made in the past that I do not want to continue. And that would have to be Bug Warriors. I'm sorry to all them 600 and some people who actually watched it and for some reason enjoyed it. But freaking, I didn't enjoy making it. It wasn't even all that good of a video. Honestly, the only thing that video actually succeeded in creating and accomplishing was making new freaking memes for my friends to quote me on all the time. Like when my dad got out of the car, he's like, "Oh man, the truck's out of gas." Like freaking Caleb quotes that bullcrap all the freaking time. It's killing me, honestly, dude.
I honestly respect his decision, and I felt that Bug Warriors was worthy of an inclusion in this video, but that's where I'm gonna stop. There are 2 other series listed on Excalibur Dimension's channel, those being Yu-Gi-Oh! Dare and Yu-Gi-Oh! Armageddon. Similarly to Yu-Gi-Oh! L, I have not found any information regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! Dare publicly available. Yu-Gi-Oh! Armageddon, on the other hand, actually does have one video describing it to an extent. That would be an update video on Sean, aka the Ash Jester's channel. This is one of the reasons I drew attention to Sean earlier in the video, by the way. According to the information in this video, the series was going to be made by Sean, and was going to feature a local cast of people in Wisconsin, which is both where Sean and Prez live.
So that's what I'm planning on doing for my channel, actually. This is a little bit of what I plan on doing. In 2 years, maybe 3, who knows? I'm working on getting actors. I will be doing my own live series called Armageddon. Prez is one of them. He's going to be one of the main characters.
Hell yeah! Hashtag save us, Priscable. I'm just kidding.
But the thing is, I'm going to need 15 people. So far, I got like, I think 5. No, don't ask for help, because you have to be from Wisconsin. Because this is going to be like a Wisconsin thing. I'm sorry.
Other than that, details on the series have yet to be publicly released, and it's unknown if the series is going to happen. It's never been publicly canceled, which leads me to believe it could one day have a revival, but I'm not Sean, and I wouldn't know. So now that we're in 2021, what exactly happened with the Excalibur Dimension? It seems that for the most part, everybody's moved on to different things. All but 2 of the series have met their ends, and only Excalibur and Project Games were long-lasting by any definition. Project Games concluded its first season with episode 18 on July 31st, 2015, the end of the month that the Excalibur Dimension was publicly revealed. By November 9th of the same year, Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur entered an extended hiatus after episode 38, the second part of Prez's final duel with Maverick. In contrast to the busy and productive year that was 2015, 2016 was really quiet for the Excalibur Dimension. This was the year that both Bug Warriors and L were presumably taken down, and no episodes of The Mask were made that year. Project Games' Season 2 premiere, episode 19, was released as an early Christmas present to viewers for reaching a like goal, but it was lacking the intro and a few other minor edits as a result. If anything, this massive lull to the Excalibur dimension hit one series the hardest, the namesake, Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur. Due to editing software problems and life obligations, it took until April 28th, 2018 for episode 39 of Excalibur to premiere. That's almost 2.5 years with no episodes. But to give credit where credit is due, episode 39 holds up as one of, if not the best episodes in the series in my opinion. And that's, unfortunately, where the story ends for now. Nobody knows if and when Excalibur Dimension will ever come back. Prez has been radio silent since 2020 when he uploaded a pair of videos on July 1st, 2020, describing how his camera had been broken while filming episode 40, which is what many people believe to be the finale of the Excalibur series.
Yeah, if this thing is still working and I can show, I was filming over by this ravine here, and as I was coming down, I was supposed to sit over there, and I accidentally slipped, and I fell into the water, and somehow my camera fell with me as well. Lens goes flying off, I got tape that's hanging off. Can barely accept light now. Yeah, this sucks.
Project Games also hasn't seen a proper episode since 2016, but there has been one related video since. That video being the long-awaited duel between Tom of Project Games and Sly Hito, the main protagonist of the live-action series Yu-Gi-Oh! Card Heroes. This video is apparently years in the making and featured a ton of original animations, artwork, voiceover, and even an original set of cards made by Sly Hito himself, the Visor Knights. That being said, I only brought it up here because it's never been confirmed or denied by Mr. A or Skins2 Mainstream, the creator of Card Heroes, if this crossover confirms that Card Heroes' upcoming revival, Card Heroes Crimson, is canon to the Excalibur dimension or not. Other than this, the Excalibur dimension has been increasingly inactive. Will we get the 40th episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Excalibur and the rest of the Project Games' second season? I honestly am optimistic. I hope that we do, but I don't think it's gonna be for a while with the state of the world as it is. It's kinda hard to say. Most of the people involved making these series were in high school to early college age when they were creating these series, and are by now well into adulthood. They have new priorities and obstacles in life. These series simply aren't their biggest priority anymore. Time is something all of us do not have an infinite supply of, and that's where this video is going to end. Prez, Tom, and Sean, if any of you guys watch this video, I want to say thank you for the memories you've given me by watching your series. I love those series so much, and I'm really glad I've been finally able to make this video. They've really helped me through a ton in my life, and I appreciate the time and effort you guys have put into it. Anyways, if you guys were watching this, I wish you luck in everything you do, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or not Yu-Gi-Oh! Related. And that's all I really have to say. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed.